What is up, guys? This is Pinzo back with another video today, and what I have for you guys is a tier list. This is an item tier list. This is something I did one of these a year ago or more, probably, and I have been asked to do another one. Obviously, items change each patch depending on what is good, so I wanted to get this out to you guys. Just on top of that, while we're talking about video topics, I do want to do kind of like a state of the game video. But don't leave your comments to that on this video. I'm going to have a community tab post thing about it, and I want you guys to leave your thoughts about it there. Okay, so I just want you guys to know that's coming. Look out for that. Go leave your thoughts on that. That community tab thing will be up when this video goes up. Anyway, we're going to do an item tier list. This is something that I haven't done in a while. Again, it's been probably over a year since I did the last one. So I wanted to do one of these. This is the way we're going to do this is... Well, here, I'll go this side so you guys can see the upcoming. All right, sorry, I had to fix that real quick. A couple of the items that I added did get saved. Got them saved. I do have like an unranked category. There's going to be some random stuff thrown in here. There might be some duplicates on items and stuff. I just wanted to put that in to start. But this is how we're doing this. So OP items obviously are S tier. A+, I like to do mine. I like to split up my A tier. So this will be A+, and A tier. A+ will be above average. A tier is average. B tier, below average. And then C tier, I'm going to use this for situational items. Maybe they're good in a very specific situation, but not good generally. You've got bad items, and then this will be kind of an oopsie tier for anything that is not here. So we're going to jump into this. I'm going to go through this a little bit fast. If you guys have questions about anything specific, just let me know down in the comments. I'll be there for sure. Absolution, I would say a solid item. Good when it's good. Really good for damage myth. That's about all you use it for. Good on characters like Crunch, Grux, etc. Ashbringer, pretty bad item. Just they've tried to make this item work. I still don't think it's good. I think it's better now than it was before. I still think it's bad. I think the only character that really can use it is Twin Blast, and I don't think he uses it very well. Astral Catalyst, situational. I think if you are playing a mid lane mage against Muriel, I think Astral Catalyst is pretty good. Especially if you're a damage over time mage. If you're talking Gadget, Iggy, even Argus Faye, I think it's pretty good. I don't think it's good if you're not getting value out of the anti-shield. If they have shields, I think it's solid. Og, pretty good. Really good base stats, does a lot of damage. Really good on any character with a spammable ability cooldown like Xeris, right? Just a solid item. Azure Core, one of the best items in the game right now, has been for about the last, I don't know, since 6 items, last 3-4 months. Been a really, really good item. Mostly Alchemical Rod is the good item here, but Azure Core, now that it has a shield on it, also pretty good itself. Basilisk. Right now, Basilisk is solid. You're not seeing as many auto attackers out of the off lane at the moment because tanks are really good. And if you play an auto attack bruiser, you have to be in the fight for so long that when you're just trying to auto, you get CC'd a lot and you kind of don't get to play the game very much. So you're seeing a lot of tanks out of the off lane, less auto attackers like Grux. The item, still solid. Bonesaw, I think Bonesaw is below average. I think it's okay. I don't think it's awesome. I think a lot of the time, if you're going to go Bonesaw, especially if it's your second item, I think that you just should go Sky Splitter most of the time. I think it's just kind of Bonesaw, but better. Of course, Bonesaw has HP, but Sky Splitter has lifesteal, so it's effective HP. I don't know, man. It's a goofy item. It would be good if auto attack solo laners were better, but I think the item is not awesome. Breach, that's not an item anymore. It would be in the shit tier, but it's not an item. Caustica, all of the penetration items, spoiler alert, are going to go in S tier. The pen items in this game are really broken. They give you a hell of a lot of pen for one item, and they are all really good. Citadel, solid item. Again, you're seeing a lot less physical bruisers in the game at the moment, so you don't see this item quite as much, but the item itself is still really good. 20% prot shred is nothing to scoff at, just in an area around you. Really good base stats as well. Has power, defense, HP, has a passive that gives you more defense. Pretty good. Combustion, I think solid. Good for wave clear and mid. That's about all that you use it for in fights. It's nice if you're playing a really pokey character like Gadget. You can get multiple combustion procs before a fight starts. It's really good. Crystal tier. Sorry, I was thinking this wasn't an item anymore. This is an item, and it's pretty good. On anyone with shields, I think I'm running Crystal tier most games. Muriel, Narbash, even Zinx. I think this is a pretty good item. Crystalline. A+, probably the top 2 magic defense items, 1 or 2 on the magic defense items list. Magic defense items aren't very good. We'll see what shakes out at the end of this list, but I think most of them will be pretty low. Crystalline's one of the good ones. Gives you a lot of defense, gives you move speed when you stack it up. Pretty good base stats. Deathstalker, pretty shit. This item sucks. It is a pen item that gives you attack speed, but because the reason it sucks, I can tell you why it sucks. It's because there's no penetration carry build. It's not like a thing. There aren't other auto attack items that have pen on them. So you're not really benefiting from this. This would be good if there were more like auto attack pen items and you could go like a squishy killing carry build, if that makes sense, where you could stack pen. It'd be like a Wraith build almost, except if Wraith items had attack speed on them. And then you could buy Deathstalker, you'd get a lot of attack speed, you'd kill squishies really easily, you wouldn't kill tanks very fast. But that's just kind of not how you play carry in this game, because the tank killing items also kill squishies, as we'll get to. Demo, like I said before, this is realistically, if I was ordering these left to right, I won't be. But Demo's legitimately one of the best items in the game, always has been. Armor pen, 30% pen plus 25% bonus damage to tanks. Pretty nuts item. Plus it has crit on it. This is the one item in the game that is truly baffling to me in the fact that it hasn't been changed since the game came out. Demon Edge. Similar to Astral Catalyst, except a little bit worse. I will still put it in the situational tier, but anti-shield item as a physical is kind of awkward because you want to build this on like carries mostly, but then you're giving up an item that you could have a good carry slot on, if that makes sense. And it's not really worth it, to be honest, most of the time. So it could even go down to D tier. Maybe I'll move it down, but I'll put it in situational. Draconum, a solid item, good for kill resets on a character like Fangmao or Sereth. Outside of that, you can build it on characters like Grux or Crunch to get a little bit of extra lifesteal. I think it's okay in that situation. Mostly, I think it's good on like almost assassins. And then when you kill someone, you get a huge HP reset for killing them, and that's quite good. Dread. Like a really solid kind of hybrid item, actually. It's magic defense and pen, really good on assassins if you're playing against a 4 AP comp, a 4 magic damage comp, then Dread's actually pretty good, so I like it. Dreambinder, pretty bad. This item kind of sucks. Lots of power on this item, lots of HP. The issue is, again, it comes down to pretty much this item. If you're building all HP and no defense, a carry with Demo will destroy you. Your HP does not matter against carries. If they have Sky Splitter Demo and you have 8 HP items but 0 defense items, you will die in 4 autos. It doesn't matter that you have 5,000 HP. So a little bit awkward to build mostly, but the base stats are really good if Demo got nerfed. Dust Devil. I think this item is maybe a little below average. You're seeing a lot less like true auto attackers right now, just because crit is so strong at the moment that everyone is just building 5 crit items, and attack speed is going to the wayside a little bit. I'll put it in below average at the moment. Dynamo, I think a solid support item. I don't think this item's broken or anything, but it's got solid base stats on it. Bonus damage when you CC somebody. You're seeing a lot of supports with crowd control just build damage right now, so I think Demo's fallen a little bit, but I think it's solid. Elefrost, one of the better tank items right now. Good base stats, has damage on the passive, lets you clear waves, mana regen. It's like the one tank item with mana regen. Just a really solid all-around item. Fire Blossom. I'll put it in A+. I could put it in S tier. I think it would be fine in the S tier. Really good, especially in the jungle for tanks. With how strong tanks are, Fire Blossom just gets good. It lets you clear waves, lets you do a lot of free damage when you sit on people in a fight. For junglers specifically, it lets you clear camps really easily. So just a really good item. Flux Matrix, average magic defense item in my opinion. There aren't a lot of team comps here right now where you're seeing where Flux Matrix is getting a crazy amount of value. So I think it's just all right. Frostguard, a similar story, honestly. Again, you're seeing a lot less auto attack bruisers out of the solo lane, and that's who Frostguard really stops. Against carries, again, right now, carries aren't really building attack speed anyway, and they kill you so fast that like you're never really stacking Frostguard on them anyway. If this was like Mystical Mail from Smite, where it slowed them down if they autoed you, Mystical Mail does the same thing when you get hit by an auto attack. It slows them, their move speed and attack speed a little bit. And it stacks the same as Frostguard. If it slowed move speed, this would be a really, really good item. It's just attack speed, doesn't do a whole lot. Base stats are good though, so it gets A tier. Galaxy Greaves, a really good support item. You'd be surprised how much damage you can dodge in a fight just by clicking spacebar and going up with moon boots. You can, especially on a character like Decker, you're seeing it a lot, where she can just kind of stay out of the fight for 3 seconds or so by moon booting and then using her passive, and it's really good. Moon boots is a solid item, good base stats as well. Golem's Gift, I'm going to say below average. I think the item's all right. Base stats are solid. Gives some decent power. Good on, like, bruisers. If you want to build a damage item on a character like Richter, it's pretty good, but that's about it. X-Bound Bracers. I'm going to go with pretty bad. I think this item's bad. It has health regen, but it doesn't have any HP on it. It gives you a bunch of mana back, and it gives you mana when you get hit. But it also, again, it doesn't have HP on it, so you just can't really get hit a whole lot just because you have Hexbound Bracers. It's kind of like an antithetical item, but it is what it is. Imperator. I'll put it A tier. You're not seeing Imperator built every game. I do think it's a solid item. Obviously, on characters like Rev, it's really good, but like you're not seeing it every game. But if the enemy team's squishy, Imperator is obviously still quite good. Infernum, after the nerfs, I think this item's just okay. I'd say it's average. Harder to proc many, many times in a fight, but still does a lot of damage, so solid. Tonics, I'm going to put in the unranked section. Kingsbane, below average. I don't think this item's super good. It's good on Twin Blast and pretty much nobody else. I wouldn't build it on Bruisers. I wouldn't build it on Seraph. I wouldn't build it on most carries. Twin Blast is kind of the one exception. Legacy, situational. If you're playing a Bruiser or even another tank against something like a Richter or a Steel or a Decker, Legacy's pretty good. But outside of that, not very good. Leviathan, one of the better magic defense items. This is Tainted Guard, by the way. It used to be called Leviathan. It's still on this list as Leviathan. Anyway, one of the better magic defense items. Gives damage when you get hit by magic characters. So I think it's pretty solid. Up there with Crystalline in terms of good magic defense items. Lifebinder, pretty bad. They made this into like Bancroft's Talon, where you get more lifesteal and more power when you're low HP, but it doesn't give you enough of either of those. If it gave more lifesteal and more power, you maybe could see it on a character like Gadget, but without that, I don't think it's worth it. Lightning Hawk, really good carry item. Slowing people, the auto attack penalty in this game is pretty minimal as is, so slowing people and being able to run them down is pretty good. Magnify, solid as like a bruiser item, as like one power item on a tank jungle like Quang or even Shinbi. I think it's solid. They buffed it. Still think it's good. Malady, good on assassins who need a clear item. Like Fang Mao is good with this. Kalari's good with this. Wraith is good with this. Outside of that, I don't think it's super awesome. Like I wouldn't build this on someone just to build it. It's really good only on those characters. Marshall, one of the better support items. Attack speed aura is really strong. The bonus damage is one thing. Attack speed aura is really strong. So any amount of attack speed aura is really good. Megacosm, still one of the better mage items. I wish I would have screenshotted this list before I reset it, because I think it would have been funny, but I didn't. Megacosm, one of the better mage items, really good. Tanks are really strong, running around everywhere. As a mid laner, if you want to do damage to them, kind of need Megacosm. Mesmer, situational. As like an assassin or a carry, building this against Richter is pretty good. Outside of that, wouldn't really build it. Mindrazor, seeing a resurgence right now. Mindrazor versus Malady is like a debate on like Feng Mao. I think it's decent on Wraith as well. I think it's all right. Muti, if you're playing a bruiser in the offlane, you kind of got to go Mutilator. I think it's really good at giving you sustain. It gives you damage to tanks, right? And I think it's solid. Nightfall, pretty shit. This item sucks. Don't build it. Oathkeeper, below average. Base stats are actually pretty good. There aren't really characters in this game who benefit from it a lot. And the damage on it's not enough. It's 50% of your of your magical power, and I think it needs to be like 60 or 70%. And I think then it would be really good. If you doubled the cooldown but gave it 20% scaling, I think it would be better. As is, no one really gets a whole lot of value out of it. O-Crown. O-Crown's fallen off a little recently. A lot of the time, you're not getting to O-Crown in a game right now. You just have to build the anti-tank items as a mid laner. But I still think the item is solid. Omen, pretty bad. I think this item's not good. As soon as they made it % reduction to your cooldowns, I think the item fell off a cliff. Just a very meh Y build item. There's just better items. Overlord, solid. Bruiser, Jungles, Rampage, Kai, like this item a lot. Gives you power when you build tank items. Pretty solid. Painweaver, below average. I think this item, the base stats on this item are really good, but it doesn't have any cooldown reduction on it. It doesn't have any ability haste. And without that, it makes it a little awkward to build. Prophecy, I almost want to, I will put it in the bad items tier. I don't think this item's good. Base stats are even pretty good, honestly. I just don't know why you're auto-attacking on mages. Good for meme builds. Really good for off-meta Shinbi, Richter, Zinx, Muriel builds, right? But as far as good items go, I wouldn't call it good. Protonic, of course, this would be like an S tier item. Protonic is broken, but unranked for tonics. Raiment of Renewal, falling off a little bit. This item, the base stats are pretty good. They gave it 15 ability haste now. That's pretty good. The passive on this item is useless. Literally unusable. You have to be out of combat for like 8 seconds to get Raiment of Renewal to proc. So, pretty bad passives. But base stats keep it in B tier, I think. Requiem is not an item anymore. Resolution, I'll put an A. It's good on a couple of characters, right? Even Fang Mao, Wraith, Twin Blast use this item pretty well. Outside of that, not super useful. Salvation, average item. I think it's actually a little underrated. I think people can use this a lot in offlane 1v1s. It's really good. In a team fight, it doesn't help you stay alive super much, like a whole lot. That shield is going to get chewed through by one auto attack from the enemy carry, but it can be useful. Sky Splitter, broken item, has every base stat on it that you could ever want. Does freaking, max HP damage or current HP damage. I don't even know which. I don't think it matters. It doesn't scale based on HP, so it does damage to squishies. It does damage to tanks. It's just, I don't know, man. I don't know why they won't nerf carry items. They should nerf all the items, to be honest. Like, tank items are OP. They do too much damage. Carry items do too much damage. Spellbreaker, I'll put it situational. Same reason as Mesmer. If you're playing a mid laner or a support and you want to spell bubble, it's good. Otherwise, don't build it. Tonic, Stonewall. I'm gonna put it in S tier. This is the one defense item in the game that can make you feel tanky to a carry. If you don't have Stonewall, you die to every carry ever. If you have Stonewall, you don't die to every carry ever, or you die in 2 less auto attack or 2 more autos, right? Stormbreaker, falling off. This item was obviously really good when they changed it in 6 items. Since then, they've nerfed it about 18 bajillion times, and it is starting to fall off a bit. Tonic, Tainted Blade, it's all right. Most of the time, it's just like if you're playing a character who wants Tainted Blade, you would either go Tainted Trident, which I think is a better item, or you would go Tainted Guard and just get defense. And I think this item is somewhere, kind of just in limbo at the moment. Tainted Guard, one of the better tank items in the game. Same reason as Elefrost, it does damage. That's it. It's a tank item that does damage for free. Makes you tankier, does damage to people when they hit you. Just a good item. Tainted Round, solid carry item, decent base stats, does magic damage, so it can dodge some defense if people are stacking Fizz armor against you, but just solid. Tainted Scepter, if you need anti-heal, you can go it, but most mid laners kind of don't even want this. It's like kind of just better on supports most of the time, but if you do need it, it's good. Totem, solid item. If you're playing a character like Narbash or Muriel, it gives your whole team the anti-heal effect to give to the enemies, which that's pretty valuable. Tech Mallet's not rip Tech Mallet. Oh my god, I missed this item. Terminus, you're not seeing this a whole lot. I think this might go up a little bit for carries, but because it does let you out lifesteal things like Razorback, but realistically, it's just like kind of a meh item. They've nerfed the base stats a lot, and it's not super good anymore. Perforator, pen item. If you're playing an assassin, this item's really good. This one maybe even goes, honestly, in A+, because demo is just so much better. Same with Caustica as far as pen options go. Perforator's solid, but it's just more niche. You can really only do it on assassins. You wouldn't build this on a carry. Time Warp, solid mid lane item. Gives you a lot of cooldown reduction, decent amount of power. True Silver, I think this item, I'll put it in situational. It's all right on Gideon and Narbash almost exclusively, right? You can build True Silver and you can get your ultimate off a little bit more. Unbroken Will, probably the best magic defense item. It's really good base stats, has tenacity on it, allows you to just get hit by a crowd control and gain a bunch of armor, which is really valuable. Vanguardian, really bad item. This item has a prot aura on it. It gives protections to allies around you. However, for some reason, I honestly don't know on this one, the aura doesn't affect yourself. So this is like I think this has like 40 armor, 40 physical armor, and 30 magical armor on it. But the aura gives like 12 of each to the allies around you. And if it gave you that aura, it would be pretty good. It'd be like 50 armor and 40 magic armor. But it doesn't do that. So I don't know. If it did, it'd be good. It doesn't, it's bad. Vanquisher, one of the better carry items right now. Probably not S tier. You don't build this on every carry, but the base stats are so good. It has crit, just lets you get kills, which is really valuable. Viper is not an item anymore, I don't think. Void Helm, average magic defense item, pretty situational. Only really building this if you're playing a tank while you have a Narbash on your team. Warden's Faith, situational. You would think this item would be really good, but like carries aren't OP. The anti-crit passive on this item is good. The anti-power, the power reduction on this item is not super good. Carries aren't OP because they have 500 power and they're one-shotting you. They're OP because their items do so much damage, and the item damage is not power dependent. So reducing their power doesn't really reduce the amount of damage they do. So it just goes in average. Not an item anymore. World Breaker, below average. Again, if you're building a lot of HP to get the value off of this, then you just kind of die to carries if you're not building tank. So you can't really build like bruiser mid laners and have 5,000 HP and kill people because you just die. Wraith Legging, solid mid lane item, gives move speed now. Good base stats, good at killing people. The random crest things, I'm just going to throw it on here. I will rank the crests themselves, but like these mid ones. Brutalic, situational, it's a cleanse. Stasis, pretty good. Probably the best mid lane crest, realistically. Makes you damage immune. As long as you're using it at the beginning of a fight, you need to use this before you get hit by things, not after you get hit by things. If you're 1 HP and then you stasis, you probably used your stasis wrong. Like, that's just kind of how it works. So, and then you die, and then you say stasis is bad. But if you use it before you get hit by things, it's pretty good. Eviscerator, pretty bad. I think this is a bad crest. Phoenix, not in the game anymore. Bummer. Rip Phoenix value. Ice-Scorn Talons, one of the better crests in the game, period. 15% increase to physical power, move speed, slows enemies, low cooldown, big AoE. If you don't have one of these on your team and the enemy team does have one, the game gets a little hard to play around objectives. Leaf Song, I'm going to go situational. Good against characters like Gadget, Gideon, in my opinion. Bad if the enemy team has walls. Bad against Aurora, bad against Decker, etc. Because the move speed's really good, but if they can stop your movement, it's less good. But overall, I think it's a solid crest. Liberator, it's a cleanse, but it's one of the best items in the game. Gives you a fat shield when you click this thing. Really good for carries. Malediction, this is Reclamation now. This used to be Malediction. Reclamation, situational, it's a group cleanse. You're really only using this if the enemy team has Aurora or Faye. But in those situations, it's good. Let's see, next. Situational, only used on pretty much Kalari right now. You're not even running this on Feng Mao most games, honestly. Ortis is kind of better on Feng Mao, but on Kalari, where you really need to secure that one kill, Nex is pretty good. War Boots, pretty bad. This item kind of sucks. It's regenerate 10% of your HP over like 4 seconds. Gives you move speed when you activate it. Pretty cool. Doesn't really do anything. Obelisk. I could even put this in bad items. I'll put it in below average. You can build it on like Shinbi, but it's just it's meh. Shinbi Countess maybe use this. You don't really build this on mid laners. It's just kind of meh. Ortis is solid. Ortis gets an A tier from me. Any assassin who wants a crest that's not, if you're not going next and you don't need Witch Stalker, I think Ortis is the best assassin crest. Really mostly Feng Mao Wraith, maybe Twin Blast, Revenant, I guess, can get away with this. But in those situations, I think it's good. Maybe I'll move it into B tier. Pacifier, Good crest. This crest is good. It gives you a bunch of bonus damage on your next damage after you dash. Unfortunately, it's on the same tree that Liberator is, and you're pretty much just going Liberator every game. Razorback, one of the best items in the game right now. I said that, what did I say? Stonewall is one of the few items that makes you feel tanky to carries. Razorback does that. It increases your prots when it's active. It reflects damage. It makes you feel like you can actually win a 1v1 against a carry while it's active. If you don't have Razorback, you lose the 1v1 to the carry. Good item all around. Rifties, solid. They've nerfed this item a lot. Used to be really, really good. Now it's just okay. Let's see. Oh, I put Sank down here. Sank is really good. I think Sanctification is A+. I think this is the best defensive crest in the game. I mean, the other ones are Leaf Song and Rifties on this tree, on the Guardian Crest tree. Rifties, again, aggressive option. Leaf Song, situational. Sanctification is kind of the baseline. Pretty good item. Sapphires. Not as good as Razorback, but good if the enemy team can't insta-kill you. Like, if you don't need Razorback to run down the enemy carry, Sapphires is good. Silentium, one of the better support crests. Really good for interrupting anyone who wants to combo your team. Stop a Sev from ulting, stop a Fangmao from going off, stop a Gideon ult, Narbash ult. It's really good. Soulbearer, just a worse version of Stasis, in my opinion. The only character you're really buying this on is maybe Gadget, Iggy, I guess. But it's just a worse version of Stasis. Tempest, it's okay. It heals you a little bit, does some damage. Better than Obelisk, in my opinion. But most of the time, I would honestly just not go the Occult Crest. I think the other Mage Crest is better. Time Flex Band, the worst. I'll put situational, the worst of the three, but situationally it can be good. On characters like Countess, even Bellica, this can be really good. Most of the time, it's just worse. Tranquility, this is like below average. I think you should just go Silentium most of the time. The heal is nice, the damage mitt is nice. I don't think it's enough to make this item super good. Typhoon, if you're running an attack speed magic build, it can be fine. I don't think it's good most of the time. Let's see. Witch Stalker. Situational. It's a cleanse. It's an assassin cleanse. If you're playing an assassin, you need a cleanse. Go Witch Stalker. Otherwise, don't build it. Right? Makes sense. Oh, here we get into the new items. Spirit of Amir. Situational. If you're playing a mage jungle that wants more damage, like a Countess or a Quang, it's good. Otherwise, I wouldn't really build this if you're a mid laner, right, or an off laner. Berserker's Axe, really good item. Has it slows someone when you walk in. Has really good base stats. Has move speed on it. Solid item. Is Bone Seeker and Bone Seeker's not an item anymore, right? I don't know why that's in here. Cresselia. I think it's an okay support item. Gives you your cooldowns back faster, but pretty useless outside of the laning phase. Fist of Razul, one of the best items in the game. You guys hear me go on and on again about Fist of Riz. Just an absolutely bonkers item. Crazy base stats, really good, just like lets you clear waves, gives you HP back, crazy. Gaia Greaves, solid defense item, has tenacity on it, gives you a little bit of bonus damage when you auto people, lets you run people down a little bit faster, it has move speed. Giant's Ring, solid defense item, has really good base stats actually. Passive is okay. Judgment, decent crest. Again, it suffers from the same thing that Pacifier suffers from, which is that it's on the same tree as Ice-Scorn Talons. And Ice-Scorn Talons is just mostly better if you're playing like a Bruiser. If you're playing a tank, like Judgment Steel, Judgment Quang can actually be pretty good for the big heal, but that's about it. Lunaria, not a great item, only useful on Zinks, and that's about it. Frosted Lure, just not super awesome at the moment. Even tank supports right now are pretty much just running these tank damage items, Tainted, Fire Blossom, etc. So you're not seeing a lot of Frosted Lure. Mist Meadow Buckler. After the stat readjustment, I think this item's pretty good. It has 15 ability haste on it now instead of the Omnivamp, and I think that makes it much better than it was. Noxia, really good mid lane item that it lets you kill tanks. That's good base stats as well. Nuke Rounds. They just readjusted Nuke Rounds. I think it's worse. It doesn't have attack speed on it anymore. It has ability haste. Still decent on Wraith. I wouldn't really build it on anyone else. Dawnstar. This item sucks. This item is terrible. Don't build that shit. Earthshaker. I think it's decent. Again, got some stats readjusted. Think it's solid right now. Echelon Cloak. It's a meme item. It's a bad item. If you're using it to jump scare Richter ult the enemy team, it's fun, but the item is not good. Ella Frost is on here twice. Sick. Envy. This item is probably still S tier, even after the nerfs. Maybe A+. Nah, yeah, A+. Situational. Really only used on like Fang Mao Kalari, maybe Crunch. In those situations, it's really good. It has a silence on it. Gives CC to a character that might have 0 CC, like Fang Mao. Silence lets people not crest and get away from you. They can't stasis, etc. Really good item. Equinox. Situational. Well, yeah, situational. If you need a shield or you're playing Revenant, this item's pretty good. Otherwise, they're just kind of better carry items. Everbloom. Solid item. If you're playing Narbash or a character with shields, you're playing Muriel, etc., I think it's solid. Quiver. If you're playing a carry that's trying to kill a tank, pretty good. Good on Murdoch, decent on Drongo, pretty good on Kira. But overall, you're not building it on everybody, but it's a good item. Orb. I'll put Orb below average. This item, again, same thing as I said with Dreambinder, right? If you're building a lot of HP in the mid lane, you just take more damage from Megacosm and Demolisher and carries, right? That's it. It doesn't really make you a whole lot tankier. Penumbra. Solid item, I think. Good on most assassins. If you're especially Fang Mao, it's really good on. I think it's decent on Xeris. I think you can build it on Chimera. Decent item. Tainted Trident. Where did I put Tainted Blade? I put Tainted Blade in B tier. I think Tainted Trident is actually pretty good. Really good base stats. Passive is not bad by any means, but not crazy. Windcaller. Again, similar to Everbloom, it's good on supports who use it, right? You're not building this on everyone. If you have healing, if you have shielding, it's good. Soulbinder, realistically pretty bad item. I'll put it in B tier, I think, because it's unreliable. If you don't have stacks on this, it's not good. If you do have stacks, it can be pretty good. That's about it. So that's all the items. If I were to, I'll put the tonics in here as well. I think most of these are like A+ as far as just the pure stats they give you. Like these three, well, this one is S tier and this one is S tier. Because this one gives Omnivamp, Strength Tonic gives Omnivamp, which is really, really good. Protection Tonic gives Tenacity, which is really, really good. Int Tonic, Mana Regen, it's fine. You usually have Mana Regen at that point. And Stamina Tonic, HP, and Regen. Again, you kind of have those stats at that point. But these two are both really good. So that's my item tier list. I have been asked to do this a couple times. Here, I'll turn my camera off real quick so that you guys can see what's behind it. But yeah, I've been asked to do this a couple times, and I figured I would get an item tier list out for you guys. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned for that kind of state of the game video. I wanna make that in the next couple days probably. So stay tuned for that and the community note about it. But let me know what you guys think of the tier list down below. If you have questions, let me know, of course. I'll be there. Otherwise, have a great day. So as always, guys, I've been Pinzo. This video is donezo. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys in the next one.